The other kind of expense that a lot of artists have are things that last more than a year, some equipment.
Sure.
And there you have your choice. The IRS assigns what they call a useful life to most equipment. 3 years or 5 cars or 5 years. A lot of equipment is 3 years, cameras are 3 years. So you've got this, and the IRS has got it, so it's 33% of each year. Or there's something called the 179 expensing deduction. And that allows you, and this works great for artists, you can write off the entire amount the year you spend the money. If you spend $5,000 on a piece of equipment, you can write off the entire $5,000 in the year you made the purchase. Makes a lot of sense if you had a lot of income that year. Now, if you didn't have very much income that year, you might want to depreciate it over several years, because in future years you might be in a higher tax bracket, the deduction might be worth more. But it's something to think about, because if you had a good income year last year and you bought some expensive equipment, the 179, it's called Section 179 because that's the part of the tax code that it's in. Expensing deduction can really be helpful.
That's really interesting, and something that I think a lot of people wouldn't think, right? So you have the choice. If you had a really good year, you can write the whole thing off. But if you had maybe like you intend, maybe you see your trajectory, I think I'm gonna make more money next year. I think I'm gonna make even more money than next year just because, my clientele is growing. Then you might opt to expense it over time.
Right, and the thing about having a good year, if in December you're looking back and say, this has been a great year, December is the time to buy that new piece of equipment.
Okay.
Because you can write off the entire thing on that year's return.
Okay. Something that you're going to use anyway.
Right.
And you're I might as well buy it now, right, and then I can expense it for the year and try to offset that a little bit. Okay. I've seen that in advertisement, right? Like where they almost kind of play to that at the end of December, where they're selling larger ticket items, or you hear people say things like, "Oh, I have to go buy this laptop in December because my accountant told me that it's a good time to buy it."
Exactly.
Yeah.